I didn't bring cards, Brandy.
I did.
Do you want me to grab some real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to.
It only takes a second. I just got to decide what deck I'm going to grab up here. Make sure I don't trip over Zeus's pillows. Let's see.
Okay.
Here. We'll do a little Alice in Wonderland.
Awesome. All right. So I'll give it a second. I'll go ahead and share it on everything. Do you want to share this to your page as well?
I sure will.
Awesome.
I don't see it pop up yet. Where are we?
I don't know. I don't see it either, but people are watching apparently. So
people are watching.
It's the same show every week where it takes us about 5 minutes to figure out where we're at on here.
Bear with us, guys. We're coming.
Okay.
All right.
It's been a crazy day, so it's taken me a little longer to function. Maybe I shared it to my thing instead.
No, it's on the Brandy Burrow Astrology and Tarot.
It is there?
It is there.
Okay, I just don't see it yet. Let me go to the app again. I keep refreshing and it's not showing up. Oh, okay, I see it. I think I'm on board now. Yay, Sharon caught us live. I am so excited about that, Sharon. Hey, Sheila. And Jewel. Okay, she can see us and hear us. Thank you. That's very, very helpful. So for some reason on my phone, it's just like a blank little screen, but
awesome.
So okay. Hey, Rhonda.
I lit my black flame candle.
Oh, pretty. Where'd you get that?
The dollar store.
Shut up. It's amazing. I need to go to the dollar store and find these kind of cool things.
Yeah, it's been a couple years, but I know they still have them.
Okay. They might still have them. I got my psychic readings mug because guess what? Starting in a couple weeks, I'm going to be much more accessible for readings. The schedule's opening up more, so.
Awesome. And mine's always open, guys. You want to see what I do most of the day when I'm not filling orders?
That is so cool. Tell us about that hat.
So this is going to be a hope hat, and it's called the clandestine cloche, excuse me. And then right where this little ridge is, we're going to have 2 roses. And this is 100% cotton, Pima cotton, and it's in the colorway Gemini.
You know, I love that.
It's very cool. So not that anybody wants to celebrate Cancer or anything, but if you guys know of anybody who is on their Cancer journey, I'm going to have a hat up for adoption here. It's totally free. All you have to do is just reach out, tell me, I'll ship it if I need to ship it, or deliver it if you're local, or I can ship it if you're local too. So just reach out and tell me.
Made with love. Beautiful.
Yes.
So Rena, I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but I'm going to surprise you here. I'm going to talk about this pendant.
Oh my.
Ordered this pendant from Rena, special custom order.
It's cool. It's cool.
Very cool. So it's a pendant with a rose quartz, and I had Rena specially make this for me. And I've worn it. This is the 3rd day I've worn it, but I wore it once at home, and then I've worn it yesterday and today outside the house, and man, it's productive.
Awesome.
Productive. It kind of finally gave me the courage to make changes that needed to be changed.
It's a big Scorpio season, Brandy. I see this happening, like even in Facebook. I see lots of people going through a lot of transformation right now.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to tell people what's going on in the Astros so that we can maybe understand what's happening, because it's been crazy. I'm telling you, it feels like Mercury retrograde. I'm having these
crazy,
insane dreams. Like I dreamed there were koi fish in my toilet.
Is that like a good positive? I mean, that sounds like it should be a positive dream, but the toilet part just throws me off.
I don't know. I didn't even look it up. I probably should have, but I was just like, oh my God, this is totally weird.
Totally weird. Well, you know what my dream was last night? So I totally forgot to share this on my page. I was gonna do that while I'm talking. My dream last night is I was on a school bus by like sitting by Paul McCartney. We're both on the school bus together, and I'm introducing him to people like, hey, Paul, this is someone-so, this is Paul. Like I was doing like, no, like he needs an introduction, you know? But that was my crazy dream. I don't know what it means.
Yeah, it's been really weird. Really weird.
So let's kind of should we look at what's going on in the sky?
Yes, tell us what's happening.
Up a chart. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, it helps if I have my astrology stuff pulled up. So I will explain. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Can you see it?
We can see it.
Okay. So the weird, crazy dreams, and I posted about this the other day. It's this Venus in Sagittarius, right? And it was making a sextile to Neptune. Now it's separating because Venus is a faster planet than Neptune, and it's at 22 degrees, whereas Neptune's 20. So it's kind of moving closer to it, but, you know, getting out of that aspect. So the dreams might calm down a little bit now. But now Venus is an exact sextile to Jupiter. I'm sorry, squaring Neptune. Guys, it's been a crazy day. Venus was squaring Neptune, and now Venus is a sextile to Jupiter.
Interesting.
So this is where the Neptune Venus thing was crazy dreams. Here's a big thing we have going on right now. We got Mars right here in the sign of Libra, which is its detriment. It doesn't like being in Libra, it doesn't do too well. It's almost at 29 degrees, which is an anaretic degree, which is very intense with Mars. So for the next couple of days, we might see Mars stuff, like Mars activity. I'm trying to think how that'll play out. I know when Mars is in its home sign of Aries at 29 degrees, we can see an increase in violence and crime, and Libra, kind of different energy, but it can be explosive because it is squaring to Pluto. So not trying to like sound a bunch of alarms, but this is like one of these transits where we want to keep our temper under control, try not to lash out.
It makes me think of like when I'm already upset and say maybe Mark tells me to calm down.
Because that always helps and it always works. If someone's upset, tell them to calm down.
Yeah, they're gonna calm down. I'm sure of it.
They'll just stop what they're doing. Yeah, so don't tell anybody to calm down during that transit.
Right. Just
now, the last time, I don't even know if I should bring this out. When Mars was squaring Pluto at the beginning of the year on January 6th, we know how that went. But Mars was in its home sign of Aries, so I'm not sure what this transit will be like. Hopefully not a big deal. But
did you end up looking anything up on the Alec Baldwin movie set story?
I do have a chart from that. Yeah, anytime one of these things like crazy stories hit the news, I make a chart because I want to see.
Did you do a comparison to like Brandon Lee and
yeah, I didn't get the chance to do the comparison of Brandon Lee because I had to research what time that happened, which if it happened in California, we probably have a good accurate death time. So maybe I could look that up real quick, but let me find, here's the Alec Baldwin. Okay. Excuse my title for this chart, by the way. This is just so I know what it is.
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah.
Complete accident, you know, I don't, yeah. But anyway, So
on,
when that
on his
happens,
part.
what's that?
On his part, complete accident.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate. Yeah. But we had Pluto right on the ascendant when that happened. Pluto is also, something we see in these charts with violence or horrible accidents, mainly violence. You have Uranus here getting ready to hit the 4th house cusp of endings. And Uranus it's also, if you'll see, it's conjunct with the moon. The moon was coming into conjunction, which the moon is like an amplifier. So when it comes on top of these planets, it just amplifies that energy. So Uranus is unpredictable. It is accidents. It's like the one planet that you really want to look to for accidents, and just unpredictable events. So yeah, that's what was going on at the moment. The Pluto and Saturn in that 1st house, though, not good. Not good.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's I definitely feel for all involved for sure.
Yeah. And if you look at what's going on, look at where Mars was at. This was last Thursday at 24 degrees. It was at an exact square with Pluto. It peaked.
Okay.
Both 24 degrees. So that makes that square the strongest it's going to be. So Mars is, violence too, and injury, anything like that. You see, within these crime charts, it's always common when I call this a crime chart, but I mean that as a very general term. But anytime you see things like shootings or something, there's usually Mars involved, Pluto, a lot of times Uranus, and you see all that going on in this chart.
So there was talk about, conditions of the movie set and the crew members who were in the process of asking for better conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in that chart that shows us that? Like, what would you look at there? Like, maybe this is kind of something that, where the change can occur. Is that what I'm trying to say?
I mean, if we're going to look at like the conditions, Saturn is the rules and the discipline, and we have that right here by Pluto. And I don't know. Here's another thing we have going on. That's a really good question, Rena. And that kind of brings you into what your philosophies are about these things. So you have the part of fortune at that moment at 7 degrees Leo. Part of fortune it's kind of like your luck. Sometimes it's things that befall you. It's things that you can't control. And you have this Saturn almost exactly opposite. It's coming into it within 1 degree.
Sure.
So, and this is a big question I always have with astrology, looking at these things. Is there enough free will to change events like this? I don't know. Because when you have the lot of fortune involved, sometimes it's like things that just befall you that are just out of control. So I don't know, Rena, what's your thoughts?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but hopefully this, and not for the wrong reasons. So I'm not saying it like that, but hopefully this is the change that needs to happen for, we're talking about prop guns, which I understand are actually like actual guns, but they're supposedly never loaded with real ammunition, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That it just doesn't make sense to me. To me, Hollywood has access to all kinds of resources. I'm just kind of shocked that plastic guns aren't being used, like something that's really, a toy gun that's souped up and doesn't have the orange point on the, if that's what you got to do. I don't know.
Right. And that was my thing. I figured after what happened to Brandon Lee.
Oh, well, there was one before that too.
Yes. In 1984 with another actor.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of that one though. I know I sent that.
In, I think, some TV shows. And if I remember the story right, I think he put a gun up to his head thinking it was empty and wasn't he playing around with it and end up having some live. I don't know though. I don't know if I know that story right. I was actually looking for Brandon Lee's death time right now to see if we could compare that.
Oh.
You want to tell a story while I search for that?
Oh, what kind of story should I
tell us while we're waiting, because this is our spooky story night.
It is. Okay. I have like a catalog. I know my husband's like, so what are you going to talk about? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have anything. Like, it's kind of
our lives are spooky stories, you know?
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Like which one? What day do we pick from?
Exactly. So, yeah.
You know what you could tell us if you don't know one offhand, you have so many cool stories about doing the dowsing and clearing out spirits. Was there ever anything like really crazy, eerie, or are you allowed to talk about any of that?
Well, I do. And I just don't give names or places so that it's still kept in confidentiality. Why don't I start by telling the story of when I learned to douse our childhood homes? Because I mean, I could tell you the creepiest one right away, but we want to kind of segue into these stories. You know? So, you know, as I'm learning to do this work, there was a piece of it where we learned to connect in, go back, and check the energy and do clearings for our childhood homes. Even if we don't live there, it's kind of accessing your Akashic records to go back in time and place. And, you know, then we work with a map to do the layout. So I'm connecting in with this house, and it was like, I'm going to call it a multi-family home, but it was my grandparents lived upstairs, my aunts, my uncles lived there, my aunt and my uncles. I had 2 uncles, 1 aunt, and then my mom and I had this little apartment kind of thing in the basement. So connecting in with that energy, it was like a -57, which is like way beta energy. I mean, there's definitely some negative vortex energy that's happening in that house. And I knew it was spooky, but my encounters are different than everybody else's just because of the work I do. And I've always been in tune with the spiritual realm. So, you know, there were some things that were showing themselves to me in this house. Like in my aunt's bedroom, it was this crazy, I don't want to call it lime green, but almost lime green bedroom color she had. Wow. And I could see in the corner that this it was like the blob kind of crawling up her wall. And I mean, it scared the hell out of me. Seriously, like in real life, 3 or 4 years old, the lights would literally flick on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. I mean, nobody was doing it, you know? So these are things that are all reappearing to me as I'm doing this work. My grandmother had cancer and passed away in that home. And literally below her bedroom was our family room in the basement, or the rec room. And that negative vortex was in there going up to her, you know, but so it at that energy level, these homes become like super highways for the spirits. So there was just a lot of stuff going on. It was very creepy. I slept in one. I slept in a negative vortex. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I was always seeing things and just, it was so creepy. But here's the really creepy part. I got done with my work. I had mapped everything out. I took my notes, wrote things down, you know, and then I called my aunt after this class and I was like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. And I'm telling her about the things that I saw in her room, you know, the blob crawling up and she said, I never slept in my room. I hated the room. I always saw something in that corner of my room.
Wow.
And that really spooked the hell out of me.
But it's also validating, isn't it? Like, okay, this is.
Yeah, it was. But, I mean, it kind of blew my mind that again, I was really young living in this house. And, you know, when my grandma passed away, she had come to me that night and I told my family and they just looked at me like I was crazy. So I just kind of put this stuff aside, but it's always been a part of my life. But yeah, that really got me.
That is some crazy stuff.
Definitely.
So I grew up in a haunted house. Well, kind of grew up. Like, it was a house we moved into when I was about 14, and I lived there till I moved out. So I guess I was only there 4 years. My God, it seemed like I was there like my whole childhood. But always had ghost activity. The minute we moved in, I was like, someone is watching me. Like, I don't know what this is, but I feel like someone's watching me. And it was the weirdest feeling. And then, like, over the years, as we lived there, this spirit would make himself known. I saw him one night in my room sitting on the end of my bed. Like, nobody believed me, of course. Like, I don't know why I thought like, oh, I'll tell everybody about what happened, and they'll, no one believed me. But he did make himself known to other people at other times, like knocking stuff off bookshelves, like closing cabinet doors in the kitchen, like TVs turning off and on. Like, it was just so crazy. And eventually my parents, sold that house, and I was kind of sad because I felt like he had become part of a family, by that point. So I don't know. I wonder what the next family's doing with him.
We have one that hangs out in our house.
Oh, in your house? Like he lives there, or was he brought in by the kind of work you do?
No, he lives here.
Nice.
Do
you have a name for him?
No, I don't. But when Max was younger, he told me that it was like one of his past lives.
Oh.
So it's very interesting. But he always, for years, as he was, we've lived here for 13 years. So he was pretty young when we moved here. Mm-hmm. But he would talk about this man, and he could only see like the top half of him. So from the waist up. And one night, Mark and I are laying in bed. Mark had fallen asleep. I'm watching, I think it was Oculus, and that movie is so creepy. And I rolled over, and from where I lay, I can see right out into my living room. And we had a sectional couch, and you could kind of see the tail, the edge of the tail on the couch. Mm-hmm. And I saw him sitting there, and I was like, and I rolled over, and I was like, oh my God.
Isn't that funny? We still get spooked.
Oh yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, it's something you don't expect to see. And it was just so startling, so unexpected. But it's not just me. We have this big mirror in our living room, and friends will come over, and before they walk out of the house, they're fixing their hair, real quick, and he'll wave. He waves.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, we have a pretty long hallway in our house here, and people have always reported seeing people walk by, and I've even done that. I know my brother-in-law was staying with us for like a month one time because he lives overseas, and he was here, and I see a guy walk by, I'm like by the doors, and I just start talking to him like, hey, well, and just carrying on this conversation. And like, no one's responding. So I'm like, I kind of look out the door, and my brother-in-law was nowhere to be found. But I was like, were you over here? And he's like, no, because I asked him when I finally saw him. Apparently I was talking to some ghost in the house. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My son sees it too. So apparently this is where spirits come and go. I don't know.
Yeah. I think, well, probably some of the work we do too, them.
Yeah.
Maybe knowing that we're not totally afraid of them, like their presence might catch us by surprise. But knowing that we're friendly faces, I think probably helps a little bit too.
I gotta admit though, sometimes I'm lazy on clearing the house after all my work. Like, I gotta do a little better with that. But and I do, once activity increases, it's like, okay, clear out the house. But yeah, it's just part of the job.
It is definitely.
Well, let me see what comments we have. I found Brandon Lee's death time. So
oh, good.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to take more research because he actually died in North Carolina. This sounds awful, but when people die in California or like LA, the death certificates are public. So you can always get like death times, but sometimes when it's outside of there, it's more difficult. So, but his was actually easy to find.
Sure.
Sheila wants to know, does this affect other stuff besides dreams? Talking about the astrology transits. I've had strange things in the bedroom around 5 a.m. every night for a week now.
Okay, because I've been waking up at 5 every morning for the last week. So do planets have specific times that they work with that maybe their energy spikes?
That's a good question.
That's probably
I don't know, but I do know like Scorpio energy. Scorpio does not require a lot of sleep, and it rules the dead and it rules all these things we're talking about. And the sun just recently went into Scorpio. So makes me wonder if that could be tied to that for sure. A lot of people who have strong Scorpio in their charts don't sleep a whole lot. They're the ones who can sleep 4 or 5 hours and be totally fresh. Or they sleep in shifts, or sometimes they're insomniacs. So I do know that. I don't know.
So Prince, his rising was Scorpio, right?
Yep.
That makes sense then.
Yeah. And I've done charts for other Scorpio risings, and they were like, I don't sleep real good at night. I had someone argue with me once because I said, well, it's Scorpio rising, you know, that's an energy that doesn't need a lot of sleep. And they're like, no, it's just because I drink coffee. I'm like, that too, but
yeah,
Scorpio doesn't sleep. So
right. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, let's get this chart up here.
And what an appropriate movie for this time of the year too, you guys. The Crow is incredible. So
I don't think I have watched it since I was a teenager.
We still got Rocky Horror Picture Show night, and then I should pop in The Crow. So got a couple nights left.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize I had all my stuff up behind this. Let me close all this other stuff. You guys, there we go. So I call it legacy when someone has died, and we know who it is. It's just another nice name for a death chart. But this is Brandon Lee, dies at 1:03 p.m., March 31st of 93. So this is what's going on in the sky at the time he dies. So remember, Mars usually is in play. It's in the 12th house, not a great position. And here's what else is going on. It's in Cancer. That's Mars's fall, because Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and this is the opposite. So this is the other sign Mars does not behave well in.
We don't have time for feelings.
Yes. Mars doesn't like the squishy feelings whatsoever. And then look what you got. You got the moon exactly. Look, to the minute.
Wow.
Conjunct. So remember, the moon amplifies. So it amplifies that Mars energy going on.
Crazy.
It is. I'm also looking at this 4th house here. You have Pluto in the 4th house, which is endings, so when we're looking at charts like this, there's 3 houses that can indicate death. 4th house is endings and can show death sometimes. 8th house for sure, and 12th house. So you got definitely a strong planet like Pluto in the 4th house. You got this Mars moon conjunction in the 12th, not great. We do have Mercury in the 8th house here in Pisces. This is another planet that's in its fall. So planets not in the greatest positions that day, or in the greatest signs. But here's something else going on. Look at this. You got Venus and Aries, another planet in a detriment.
Wow.
Right by the sun. Sorry, this is the first time I'm really looking at this. So look, Uranus right here with Neptune. You know what this reminds me of, Rena? And it still happens. There's a lot of conspiracy about Brandon Lee's death.
Yes.
You know, it's ruled an accident, but some believe, because his dad died mysteriously. So this Neptune exactly conjunct with Uranus at 21 degrees just makes me think, yeah, this is where those conspiracy, or it's reflecting that, I should say.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And this Uranus right here, remember, it rules accidents, is exactly, within 3 degrees opposite of this Mars moon combination. So yeah, the astrology will always reflect what's going on. And this definitely reflects pretty bad. I guess I'll use the word accident loosely because I don't know. But with Neptune there, who knows?
Sure. Wow.
Crazy. I want to stare at this one like longer. And then let me see if this will, I got his natal chart here and we'll put, it's in the middle.
Okay.
And then we'll put, when he dies on the outside here.
Okay.
Here's something to kind of look for when these things happen to people. Usually there's some kind of Saturn transit to either the lot of fortune, which is right here, or the lot of spirit, which I don't have that marked on here, but it's going to be right on kind of the other side of this. And you do have Saturn in a sextile over here to this other one. But look at this, at the lot of, it's called lot of fortune or part of fortune. I kind of use them both names, but the transiting one at the time, it's also squaring Saturn by sign. So he has some tough things hitting his chart.
Interesting.
When this is happening. And here's his natal Saturn. It's in Pisces, and the lot of fortune at the time is trining it. Saturn usually is coming in contact either way somehow with these lot of fortunes when these things happen.
Interesting.
Really is. And that Venus detriment's hitting his 4th house.
So what is the lot of spirit? I know you said you don't have it marked, but what would that show?
So the lot of spirit it's a marker we use for kind of like life direction. Sometimes it deals with career. Sometimes it's just your life path. It's about that kind of thing. Whereas fortune might be more health or more just things that happen to you out of luck or bad luck.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
A lot of spirit's more like a life path. We look at a lot of spirit when we're trying to see when people are going to have good career changes or just significant things happen in their life that put them on a good path.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So sorry, I will get back to our show. You'll find me like staring at this if I leave it up too long.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'm glad you were able to find that for sure. That's fascinating.
It really is. Okay. Sheila said the other actor we were thinking of is John Eric Hexham.
Yeah.
Died in 1984 on the set of TV show Cover Up.
See, and I've never heard of him.
I've only heard of him like when they bring up Brandon Lee or now it's been in the news because
sure
last week, but I didn't know who he was though. I still don't. I never watched those kind of shows. I was kind of young still, but kind of young. I was like 5.
I was 3.
We weren't watching that show.
Care Bears, man, and Smurfs.
Yeah. No, I watched a lot of like age inappropriate content at that age. Like,
oh, I know I did too, but
Poltergeist was one of my favorites in like 1983 when I was about 4.
You know what my first scary movie was? Oh my God. It was the best, like out in the country on a projector screen in the middle of the night. I was like 4. It was my mom's best friend's boyfriend's house. But it was The Exorcist.
Oh, do you know I've never seen that? I know, and it's not because I love scary movies. I don't know what my problem is. I've never just sat down to watch it.
Interesting. I love it. It's definitely a classic for me.
I think my favorite is Poltergeist just because it brings me back to my childhood.
Yeah, definitely.
I watched that movie all year long. It didn't have to be Halloween time. It was just so good.
Definitely. Yes, same.
Oh, Carrie's saying she used to read Stephen King when she was little.
Awesome. You're my people. He's my favorite author.
See, Carrie, this is why we're friends. Yes. I love scary movies. Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorites. Although when you watch it now, it's not really a scary movie, but I guess at the time people were frightened of it.
Well, Carol Brady slept in her own bed back then. So, I mean,
right.
people didn't talk about this stuff. So
yeah, I still love that one. Hey, Katrina saying hello to us. And then there's other spooky stories like me and Rena were talking about before we went on live about how people will follow you home sometimes.
Yes.
I was talking about when I lived in Oklahoma, had to been about 10 years ago. And I went to the grocery store and I'm leaving and this person is following me home, like making every turn I make in the neighborhood, making all the turns. And I'm just like, great, this is it. My time's up, I guess. Like some weirdo's gonna kill me. I don't know. Finally pull up to the driveway and he gets out of the car to tell me that he loves my Beatles sticker on my car. Like, you made me think I was going to die because of that. Like, come on, everybody loves the Beatles. Like, you didn't have to follow me home to say you love the Beatles, but.
I have a creepy story I can tell you. So this happened a couple of years ago. There is a like minds group where I live where people will get together and, maybe one topic will be tarot readings, or this night it was aura readings. And I had never been to this group, but had been asked to come many times. So I don't know. Something about this one called to me, but I wasn't going alone. So I had to track down a friend that would come with me because I don't know, something about it just felt like I needed to be there, but I wasn't sure why I needed to be there. It wasn't for pleasure. So I get in this group and we're in this small office and there's probably like 25 people, like in the size of a room I'm in. I mean, we're just all crammed in there and we're doing a quick little meditation and then we're talking about basic auras, like what color is my aura and what color is your aura? And for some reason, we all had our eyes closed and somebody walked in the door. An actual person, not a spirit.
Real life person.
A real life person. And it scared the hell out of it. No, I'm just kidding.
We're used to dead people. It's the live ones that scare us.
It was this man, this lady, and someone probably your daughter's age, so about 15, 16 years old. And they were so quiet. So it wasn't because of the door slamming behind them, but you could just feel the shift in the air when these people walked in. And I mean, it was like I don't know, it was just heavy and creepy and like something hit you in the face and you just knew it wasn't right. And I happened to open my eyes and I could just see like, whoa, this creepy energy. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Were you giving them a look? Like,
I probably was because we took a break like a few minutes after these people had walked in and I went outside and the lady had followed me out too. And she was talking to me and I said, is that your husband? And she's like, it is. And I said, I'm pretty sure he has an entity attachment. I mean, there was just something about his energy that told me he's carrying something with him. And she goes, oh my God, I've been telling him he needs to see somebody. She's like, he's been going to this person for Reiki. And this person said that she's pulling all these demons off of him. And I'm like, I'm rolling my eyes. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Because A, you don't ever call them that because you're giving them power. And B, unless you know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing. Okay.
Pretty good rules. Yeah.
So she's like, do you work with it? And because I help energies clear, I was like, absolutely. I would help you, do a space clearing for your house. Cause she's like, this energy is just lingering and something's not right. And everything in my life is falling apart. And I didn't necessarily want anything to do with him. Does that make sense? Like there was something like help her, but stay away from him.
Yep.
So after this session, this aura group reading, whatever, couple days went by. I had given her my number and she called me and she said, he wants you to do a an energy work session on him. And I was like, I had to think about it for a minute, and I was like, okay. And I was supposed to go over the next day. And that morning I woke up, I had scratches, like big, huge welts across my chest. My husband was like, you are not going over. You are not going by yourself,
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. So I called her and I said, I just don't think I'm the person to work on him. And he was really upset. Not because he really wanted me to work on him, but I think because he malicious intent, let's just say it that way, energetic malicious intent. So she said, well, he's supposed to go to work in a few days. I'll call you, maybe you can come over and do a space clearing. And he worked out of town for a couple weeks at a time. So she had called me. I took a friend over there, the same friend that was with me at the Like Minds group. And walking in the house, I felt that same energy. And I was like, what the hell? I mean, even the building itself held this heavy energy, it was like an apartment. So I went in there, and she had a couple older kids that weren't kids from him, but they were there, and they were telling me like, well, I'll save that for a minute. Cause I walk into these situations with I tell people not to tell me anything so that I can go in blind, feel what I feel, give you a report, we'll talk about it, and then we'll do the work.
Right.
So she's walking me through this apartment, and I get to her room, and there's literally like this smoky energy entity. I'm going to call it an entity because it wasn't a spirit. It was an energy that was projected to the specific spot by her husband. And I said, do you feel like you're being watched? Because you are. She's like, I feel like I can't sleep because somebody's watching me. And then she took me to their walk-in closet, and there was like this energetic barrier there. And she said, my husband's a Wiccan. And I didn't go in there because I knew that was his space.
Yeah.
But I can promise you that wasn't that's not what he was working with. I don't know what he was working with, but he was definitely opening portals. He had an entity attachment to him. The older kids, when I sat down to talk to them, they were telling me they were afraid for their mom. They said he'd just go stand on there was a patio off of the living room, and he'd smoke cigarettes and just stare at her. And they said it was just the scariest thing, like the look in his eyes. And, it was just like kind of mind blowing. Basically all we had to do was clear the air. We had a couple little portals to clear up, but no like negative vortexes that were of an issue. Does that make sense? Like nothing was appearing in that department. But I gave her a rose quartz crystal and told her to set it by her door. After the clearing, even her kids were like, wow, it really feels nice in here. Like we feel like we can breathe. It felt so much better. And she's like, what's going to happen to him? And I said, he's either going to find the right person to help him, or he will move out. And this is going to be a quick transition because this is how it is. We raise the vibe and it doesn't stay.
It's not welcoming to whatever's on him, right?
Right. And he moved out. He left within 30 days of that. So I don't know, but she was finally, she's kept in contact with me. Again, this is a couple of years ago, but she's finally able to feel safe. Like she was literally scared for her life, scared for her daughter. He was just carrying something with him. But I mean, that's creepy, man. Like
that is creepy. It's probably valid why she was scared. Like who knows what would have happened.
And I did have a conversation with him at that meeting, and he was telling me and my friend that as he connected with his spirit guides, he could see red glowing eyes. And I was like, those aren't your spirit guides.
Yikes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. See, this is why I have a hard time. People tell me that like I visibly show like, my face just like, what?
It was very, very creepy. Yeah, just wow.
Crazy.
Very, very interesting.
Our jobs aren't easy sometimes, Rena.
Yeah. You want to hear my Big Bang story?
I do want to hear the Big Bang story.
Okay, let me get a drink of my cold.
Get ready. Let's all take a drink and prepare for this.
My cold old coffee from this morning. Okay. So, and I do this work globally too. So it's not just local clients that I have, but this session took place in Bismarck. This girl, this young woman, I'm going to call her a young woman. She's about my age.
And we're very young.
We're very young.
Appropriate term.
She had contacted me to do a space clearing on her parents' home. They were trying to sell their home and it wasn't selling. So she just wanted to do a space clearing, lift the vibe, see if that would help sell the house, which it does. If you're selling a house and it's not selling, I'm here for you. I can help you. There's things I can do with my work that work. Nobody had even looked at this house and it had been on the market for over 6 months. And it's in a really beautiful part of our town. I mean, just kind of that, I don't want to call it old, but definitely like I'd say a 1970s beautiful multi-level home in a really nice neighborhood next to a really good school. There is no reason that this home shouldn't have been off the market like that. Mm-hmm. So again, I go into these situations blind. She had said there was some stuff there, some things that had happened to their family, but I was like, no, don't tell me. We'll see what we can find. I walk in, I have my L rods with me, I'm weird. So I go in your house and I'm walking around with this because I want to check the energy and see what I'm finding. And it led me downstairs to this one spot. And it was a negative vortex. Nothing huge, no like energy busting something, but it created a little bit lower vibration. Again, the home was really nice. With negative vortexes, there's always a smell. Oh, I smelled that smell. And when there's that,
is it like a mold smell?
It is. It's like moldy, musty, old, icky kind of smell, and people will burn candles. So that was one of the first things I noticed when I walked in this house. When there's a negative vortex, that's where I'm going to do my clearing work so that I can shift it, close it, and let it be. So we're doing this space clearing, and there's this young man who's coming up. And he is like, he had told me he died by suicide, and it was in the house. And it happened to be this girl's brother. Oh. This is all coming up in the session. I have no idea what's going on, except for what's being told to me by these spirits that come forward. And all of a sudden, I mean, this is something out of a movie. The floor starts shaking, and I'm like, okay, either I'm going crazy. I don't want to scare the hell out of these people. Again, my experiences are so different than what anyone's like experiencing out in the world, because I feel and sense and smell and taste and everything's going when I'm doing these sessions. And the girl's mom was there, and she goes, "Do you feel that? The floor is shaking." I mean, it was like, ooh, like seriously, something in a movie. It was just like,
oh my gosh.
I've never seen that in my life. And then there's this moan. Ooh, I mean, it was like, oh God, I got goosebumps talking about it, but it was like, what in the heck is going on here? And again, I didn't say anything because I don't want to scare these people. I'm waiting for feedback as this clearing's going and the energy is going into the vortex, shifting, being released. And, the mom goes, "Do you hear that?" And I was like, yes, I hear that. I feel that, and I hear that. And it was just crazy. I mean, for like 10 minutes, this shaking and this moaning was happening. And I'm trying not to lose my cool, and keep it together because, I'm a professional. This is what I do. And I've never seen this in my life. And I just cannot believe what I'm experiencing. It finally calmed down. And the young man had come to, he touched each member of his family that was in the room and told them goodbye. They could feel it. They sensed it. They heard it with their spirit ears. And then it was just like this calm peace happened. That negative vortex, he was, I think 13 or 14 years old.
Oh my gosh.
That was his bedroom. And that was the exact spot he had hung himself.
So it's possible that negative vortex was definitely affecting him.
Yeah, it draws you to that space for that event to happen. So the energy of the environments we spend time in, they hold that energy so that we can experience what we need to experience. We can play out our karmic paths per se. Yeah, it was crazy, life-changing. I closed up that vortex for them. Within a week, the house sold. So
amazing.
Totally.
So not only does Rena do the key, she does house clearing, and you can do that remotely. She's done my houses, multiple houses. Done this house. You even went back and did a childhood home of mine that was just real negative and not a happy place. And that was interesting.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
It was a really small home, and I can't remember how many, but there were like 5 or 6 negative vortexes in it. Yeah.
And it was an old landfill space, right?
Well, it was the other house. That was a different one that had.
Yeah. Sorry. That's right.
That's okay. But that one did have, I want to say, at least 3 negative vortexes.
Yeah.
It did not feel good. That house, I was grateful to have it. When we first moved to Austin, we lived in that house for a while. And the area was amazing. It was like a perfect area to live in Austin. But we moved away from it, and it just didn't feel good. The land didn't feel good.
And now you have an amazing house.
I have an amazing house. I live a little bit outside of Austin, but only like 5-minute drive, and I'm back in Austin. So
when you clear those pieces, whether it's a child home or a childhood home or your home, you attract better things. It's that idea of law of attraction and working with the energies to help you attract better things. So yeah, it's really for
that.
Heck yeah.
And this house you worked on, this was a good house. It had some positive vortexes. I don't think it had any negative. And big difference though. Even just you like having me place the rods where I did in this house. It just it feels great, and it's been very abundant. Cool. And
yeah.
So you guys find Rena, like, this is powerful stuff.
all my interesting stories come from my dowsing work.
And see, I don't do dowsing, so I don't have interesting stories.
You do too. You do readings.
I do. These days I'm doing mostly tarot and astrology readings. That's just kind of my main gig. I am, Rena, you don't even know this. This is like a surprise announcement. I am going to open up some mediumship readings just for a short time.
Good for
Probably you. Just 15-20 minute readings, just because I do mediumship, but I'm one of these people, it drains me really fast. So I'll probably just do short little sessions, but I will be opening those up pretty soon. I will try to get those posted in the next week. So
mediumship is incredible work. It takes a lot. I believe that everybody's tapped in. Should I think everybody should do it? Yes, but I think you should know what you're doing, and there should be a level of protection. And part of that is knowing what you can handle. So like Brandy's not going to be doing 85 readings a day,
not even 85 a year. Like I will probably take 2, maybe 3. I'm trying to say 3 I'm like stopping myself. Maybe like 2 a week, 20-minute sessions.
Yeah. Sheila says, question for Rena: if there's a negative vortex in a house and the house is torn down, do the vortexes disappear? No, because it's the land. It's in the land, not necessarily the structure. It's the land.
I have a question following that, because that's interesting. Because, and when you said that, the first thing I thought of was Kurt Cobain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they tore down the greenhouse above the garage, the new owners, or whenever the property sold, and that area where he was,
yeah,
who knows what happened, where he killed himself, was torn down. So if there was a negative vortex there, that would still be in play.
It's still there. Yep. Absolutely.
I wonder if that's what was going on there.
Maybe that's what made Courtney crazy. I don't know.
That's the whole other astrology lesson we should look at. I dive deep into those charts for a while. At some point, I still have them. I still haven't made my conclusion on what exactly went down, but working on it.
Harry says, we have a house in town near me where there have been 2 separate murders by meat cleavers.
Whoa.
By 2 unrelated people in years apart. Both times the murderers and the victims were related and lived there. Interesting. Again, I would probably say that is definitely a negative vortex there. And I would definitely say that is what caused that. Okay, so depending on, remember a couple shows ago, we talked about the angles, you know, anything over the 90, when it's a little over 90 degrees or a little under 90 degrees, it's not affecting as big of an area. Once that angle gets really big, it gets more vast of an area and the experiences get deeper, more detrimental. Seriously, we've seen girls like this young girl who was bright and bubbly and wore bright colors and did really well in school. Her family moved to a new home. And again, within like a month, she started to change. Her complete attitude changed. Her friend group changed. She didn't give a crap about school. She was failing classes, you know, things that were just completely out of character for her. Closing up a vortex that was found under her bed, you know, shifting that back to a positive. We actually shifted that to a positive because she needed that higher energy vibration. It brought her back. She was able to sleep. She wore her clothes that she was wearing before. She excelled in school again. You know, it can definitely affect personalities. We've had conversations in my dowsing groups about, you know, they don't build prisons and mental asylums on positive vortexes, right? So again, these people are attracting the same experiences because they're having these same energies in their lives. So
you say hospitals as well are on negative vortexes?
Like mental hospital.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, so I think that can make people crazy. You know, it just takes them out of their personality, out of that normal realm of balance. And depending on how early it's attracted in their lives, like maybe this is something that they were born into, and then every home that they lived in after that same energy attraction happened, you know. So depending on, you know, there's so many different people who deal with that. But yeah, complete personality changes is one of the very first signs, and the smells.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating. I think I could just like listen to all your stories about this, Rena.
You know, learning this work, we had, you know, a little group of students. I'm one of the very few that went on because of this one experience. and the lady who taught me how to do this said she's never had a group like she had with us. But the lady who brought the teacher to our area, her daughter taught at this Montessori preschool, right? So this is like your fancy schmancy kids with top education, okay? And she's like, the kids are experiencing some spirit activity here. She wants us to go do some clearing and some dowsing. So we're going to just go see, and she's like, oh, the Montessori school. And I'm like, oh God, that's going to be a breeze, right? Oh my God. Putrid smell. There were so many, there was so many spirits. The way you moved, it felt like somebody was sitting on your chest, like an elephant sitting on your chest. It's just that heavy of an energy. And we always start our work in the basement because it's the lowest level, the closest to the earth, right? I'm telling you, the room I was sent in to work in, it was actually an old funeral home.
Oh,
I was working in the embalming room. And I don't know what happened in there because, I've dealt with some deaths in my family. I've been in several funeral homes in my life, but this one was creepy AF. I'm telling you, these kids, the little kids were talking about people following them in school and saying things to them, and they weren't able to sleep. And so, it's nap time at preschool and these kids aren't settling down. Well, no wonder. So
that's a dense energy. I've been in places like that.
Very dense. Yeah. So we did our work, we cured it. The kids felt so much better. Okay. Within a couple of years, that lady didn't teach there no more. And whoever owned the school asked her to remove all the pieces. So it was no longer doused. And I have no idea what's going on there, but I tell you what, guys, woofdies. Okay. And I'm like so sensitive to this energy. If I'm sitting in an EMF line, I got instant headache, I'm like sick, gonna throw up. So I'm very, very sensitive to energies. It's unreal. So
that is crazy. Where Wade works, my husband, it was an old funeral home. And I don't know what it is about funeral homes. And I didn't know this. And I went up there one day to see where he works because he works around all this computer equipment. That's just crazy. And I walk in and I'm just like, I'm immediately dizzy.
Yes.
He's trying to talk to me and I can't, it's like being underwater. I cannot hear what he's saying. And I'm like, Wade, there's like a ton of spirit up here. He's like, I always feel like people are watching me. And he's like the only one there. And so I was like, I bet you do. And then he told me, he's like, yeah, this was where an old funeral home was downtown, like a long time ago.
Wow.
They built a building over it. And so, but there hasn't been any clearing work. So when you go up there, and when they're doing work, they do work late at night so that service isn't interrupted. And the contractors are always reporting seeing people and doing what I do, talking because you see someone and then realizing no one's there.
Right. So I have a client, she worked in this downtown office building here in Bismarck. And she was always calling me every couple months, Rena, I got to have you come. There's things walking through my office and I can't do my work. And, the first time I was there, it's like, God, there is a ton of spirit. It's literally like an office building full of spirits, seriously. And then I did this ghost tour of Bismarck and found out that, okay, so this is on the south side of the building. The north side of the building was Bismarck's first mortuary. Oh. Like we're the Old West. Okay, so this like, no wonder, you poor thing.
What's up with that? Like, I'm always like trying to understand haunted places, and I'm trying to think if I were a ghost, like I wouldn't want to hang out at the funeral home where that all went on. I don't want to see it. I don't want to think about it. I'm going to go to my happy place or where I don't understand.
You know what I think that is? Attachment to the physical vehicle. So a lot of times people are like, well, what's going on? This is where my body was. And B, trauma, not processing what happened to you or why it happened or how, or
because that's the first place you go.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. Yeah. Carrie is saying she might need to do something with you because her son's room always feels that way and he won't sleep in there.
Interesting. Yes. You get a hold of me. We'll talk about it for sure. Yeah, I've seen some things. And you know, guys, when I first started doing this, I'd just take a friend with me. And then I started taking my husband. We had to travel out of town one time for a session. And he was, you know, at first he's like, yeah, Rena does this work and it helps people. But I don't think he really understood what happened. There was this one property. It was probably about an hour out of town. I wasn't going to travel. You guys, when I do my work, most of the time I have my eyes closed so I can see and feel and be in the space. So I don't want to be alone. That's why I take my husband. It's not because I don't trust anybody, but it's just kind of protection, you know, just in case.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah. So, and these people were wonderful. So that's not even this, but it's just so far out of town and, you know, whatever. I get out to this property and, you know, it's, mom and dad owned two properties, one on one side of the road, one on the other side of the road. And their son lived in the property over on this side. And there was one spot in the garage. People were always drawn to drink beer there. And then they'd get in fist fights. Yeah, negative vortex. Her husband would go over there, hang out with the son. And she said, this stuff was happening for years. And her husband was finally coming home and she's like his face changed. Like it was morphing, like she couldn't recognize who he was. For many years, she would call priests, have priests come out there, and they finally just said, we don't know what to do for you.
Yikes.
she's like, I felt helpless for so many years because there was nobody to help me. And then finally, one of my clients had told her about me. So she called me and yeah, she says her house is still perfect. This has been about 3 years since I worked on her house. There was an area right near their garage, like on the, you know, driveway into the garage. And I was like, what is going on here? There was it wasn't a big one, but a little negative vortex, heavy spot of energy. Her husband had fallen off of the roof of the garage and laid there for hours waiting for someone to come home.
So sad.
But they had so much spirit activity that their friends and family didn't even want to come spend time there because they're like, you know, ending up with like footprints on their car hoods, you know, and they're like, nobody was here, or seeing grandma sitting in the rocking chair. It just spooked the hell out of the road that separated the two properties was actually part of the Deadwood Trail. So, and the bar that was like on the next piece of property was over 100 years old. So you got these old spirits, you know, these old wagon train spirits just hanging out, still doing the same things they were doing back in 18 whatever, you know, just, yeah. So it's crazy, but she works in one of our stores here. So I see her all the time and she's like, my house is still great. Thank you so much. Like, they've never had any more weird spirit activity after that. But yeah, I'm just, it was crazy. The spot I worked in was under a tree and these birds. I mean, have you ever heard a squirrel fight? Like, they scream.
Oh.
So these birds were making that horrible sound. And it was like, oh my God, you know, I'm working in this vortex. I get done with my work. And it was a really cloudy, gloomy, cold, crappy day, a little bit sprinkly. When I had finished my work, opened my eyes, the birds were singing. There was a rainbow. The sun had come out. My husband's like, what the hell did you do?
Like physical environmental changes.
Yeah, it was so profound. It blew his mind. So yeah, pretty amazing stuff.
Sheila says you're freaking her out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Don't be afraid of your abilities. Learn how to work with it.
Develop them. And yeah, that's the best thing to do. Yeah, especially, you know, there's people who are so sensitive and they do pick up on spirits, but they're scared of it. And that's kind of one of the best things you can do is safely use the abilities just a little bit, and it kind of balances that. Definitely. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Oh, I used to be scared of spirit. It makes me laugh. Like watching The Sixth Sense used to scare me. and I couldn't figure out why. I was so scared. And of course I had the mediumship abilities, and then I dived into it. And I mean, that movie does not scare me. Spirit doesn't scare me. It's just such an amazing thing. So that's kind of one way you can heal that fear.
So growing up, that's how my life was. Like, seriously, like when I saw that movie, I was like, oh my God, it's a thing. This is who I am, you know? So it kind of helped me step into that.
I ran from it for like another 10 years. And then finally I was like, all right, let's just do this.
Yeah, I pushed it away because I didn't know how to deal with it. Who can you talk to?
Yep.
You know,
that's a big one. I mean,
right. Yeah. Who's gonna listen to you and not go, oh my God, you're nuts.
Yeah.
So
I finally had to get over that. People just think I'm nuts. And
yeah, I'm okay with it now.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I know I'm crazy. But you know what I did today?
But we're never bored. So there you go. I had to give a message once. Like I was at work. It was back when I was doing bookkeeping in retail. So I was in a retail environment, and this spirit kept coming through for this employee. It was a manager who was there, and it wasn't even her regular store. And gosh, the spirit would not stop. And I was like, I'm going to have to either deal with this or just look like I'm crazy. So after about an hour and a half, I went to her and I'm like,
yep.
Yeah, I know you were married and your husband's no longer with you or with us. Is that correct? And she's like, yeah, I'm widowed. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I'm like,
oh, he told me.
Yeah. Then I had to like, here I go. And I'm like, I'm either going to lose my job today or be committed. I'm not sure what's going to happen. And at the end of the message, she's tearing up and she's like, yeah, I've been going to mediums trying to hear from my husband. This has been the most amazing thing.
That's so awesome. I love when stuff like that happens. It's just amazing. It is totally amazing.
Oh yeah, I will never forget that. It was like, okay, spirit did not set me up to fail here. I appreciate that.
I had something like that happen at Paisley Park with our tour guide. It was profound and amazing and really good to have. Not that I needed validation, but validation is always so awesome, you know, having somebody acknowledge that. But our tour guide, when we walked in, before we got there, you know, my husband and other people were saying, you're going to tell them what you do? And I was like, no, absolutely not. We're not going to tell anybody what we do. Okay. Because they're going to think I'm crazy and we're not going to have that happening. But as soon as I walked in, I was getting messages from the boss. And he, at the end of the tour, you know, I had told him at the beginning, I had some things I wanted to tell him at the end of the tour. And I gave him some really awesome messages. He actually grew up on the same street as Prince and, you know, was good friends with him. And he had some really sweet and awesome messages to share with him. And he was in tears. My husband was in tears. I'm in tears. Oh, it was so good. So good.
Yeah, I totally knew when you went to Paisley Park what was going to happen. Like, no way.
That place is my church, you guys. Seriously, it's so profound. I didn't even go in the last time we were there. You know, we just like took the dolly to hang on the fence and it was just magic. That guy had it going on. He was really connected in with the cosmic realm, the universe.
I love those spaces. Like that's New York for me, like the whole city, because, you know, got John Lennon and Joey Ramone from there. And I mean, I just love being in that city.
So special, such special magic.
For sure. Sheila's kind of laughing with us because she said, try being a priest kid. I could never tell anyone what I was seeing.
Oh, girl, for reals.
Yep.
You're going to have to tell us what was going on. What? Did you get any stories submitted? I didn't get any stories. I know all of you have stories. Why didn't anyone send in a story?
Everybody has a good ghost story and I wanted to hear it. And you guys, I'm going to give you an extra week. So
Oh yeah. Let's give them an extra forever. If you ever have a story you want to share, just connect with me or Brandy, send us a message. I bet if you wanted to come on live and tell your story, we could make that happen too. Or you could just share it. You could do it anonymously. We don't have to say who it's from. But we want to hear from you. We love this stuff and we welcome you with open arms. You are with friendly hearts here for sure.
Yes, I love everyone that's listening. It's funny, Rena, like as we're talking about all this, like it's kind of flipped on my mediumship abilities. Like some of our listeners have people coming through. It's so funny.
Oh, I know. I love it.
I love it too. But yeah, you guys tell us your stories and we want to hear them. We won't think you're crazy, I promise.
Nope. You can't tell me anything that's going to make me think you're crazy or weird, or things happen. And these things are really special and beautiful. For some reason, even the spooky pieces happen. I don't know, maybe as an awakening, maybe to let you know that you have these gifts, validation, perhaps.
Or to keep life exciting.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Tom says it's probably my crazy family bugging Brandy. I don't know, but it's some female from someone's family, and I see her wearing these slippers constantly in the house. Like, I don't know. Like, it's so funny because I'm not a shoe person. As soon as I hit the door, there are no shoes on my feet until I have to leave.
Is it my mom?
I see slippers and they're red though, or maroon, or kind of a reddish color. The kind you slide your feet into and they're completely covered.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying my feet are warm.
That wouldn't be my mom.
Okay, Sharon's gonna send us some stories. Good.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, my mom had pink house shoes too.
Oh, Tom is saying pink house shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that yours, Tom? Is that your mom?
I bet it is.
It's almost like, because the way I work with mediumship is I always get evidence, and it's usually some quirky thing about them that like I just couldn't know. And so they will stick on these little things. And sometimes it's so funny because I'm like, I know it's not a big deal, but this is what they're showing me to let you know it's them. And Tom, why do I feel like in her house all the lights are off except for some lamps or something? It almost feels like a cave. Like, some people keep the house just dimly lit. Not me. My house has bright lights on at all times except for when I'm on Facebook Live.
Mine's dark all the time. I turn lights on to crochet so I can see my stitches.
Oh, I just don't like the cave feel. I'm like, I need all my bright lights on. I don't know why I'm like that.
Well, I think mine is the Taurus stuff because I want to be cozy and snuggled up and napping at all times. So, and snacking, watching movies.
Tom said, yep, and a cigarette in her hand.
Oh, I love that.
Well, she's around you right now, Tom.
You know what? Let's talk about Halloween stuff. Halloween is really a magical time, and an especially good time to connect with your loved ones who have passed on. It is one of my most favorite times for this reason. Some people have what's called dumb suppers. They'll set an extra place at their table for their loved ones who have passed on Halloween. Mm-hmm. Something I do, I leave favorite treats, my loved ones' favorite treats. So like candy bars, like my grandma and grandpa, even our little doggy, I put one of his favorite treats out that we just lost not too long ago. That's just something so special that you can do. My mom was a special character. She had unreal gifts, just like me and you. But she grew up in a different time and you didn't talk about that kind of stuff. So one year I was telling her what I do, leaving the candy bars out. It was the year my grandpa passed away, which would be 2 years. It'd be 2 years this year. So she actually did that. I printed out a special picture of my grandparents and she got their favorite candy bars and left it out. And she thought that was so awesome. Then after Halloween, I take it out and don't shun me. Okay. But I give it to like the squirrels. So yeah. So they get a little treat, get a little more hyper and run across my roof.
Chew on some wires.
yeah. I don't know what they do, but they sure like it.
I love that. Yeah, this is a cool time of year for those things. And here in Texas, especially, we do Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. Whatever you have, to honor your loved ones, it'll work. They love it.
Lighting a candle, whatever it is. Absolutely. It's just a really special time. And the veil, the veil's always thin for people like me and Brandy and you guys who know that you're connected in, but there is just something that shifts in the air and it's just so special and amazing. It's definitely just a wonderful time to tap in and connect and offer your love. And
Scorpio season.
Yes.
Yep.
Mystery. I love it.
Well, should we wrap up with do we want to do like a general card pull or what are we thinking?
Yeah, why don't we each draw a card and see if there's any advice that comes forward that we can share maybe for the week? How's that sound?
Yeah, I love that. So a message for everyone that'll resonate. And I like doing this because then when someone watches a replay, the message applies to them too. You don't have to be here live. So this is kind of for everybody, even the ones watching later. Definitely. So I love that. Somehow this is weird. My cards aren't ever like this. Mixed a little bit. Like,
wow.
Someone's been in my cards or something's weird with those. Okay.
Tom, are you a Scorpio? Tom, by the way, Scorpio keys are live in my shop.
Tom is a Scorpio. Special Scorpio. Tom, come see me. He's supposed to come visit me, and we always have a good time when he visits.
How far away is Tom?
He is in the St. Louis area, Missouri. And I'm in the Boston area, so he has to fly here to see me.
Same day as Wade.
Yes, they're both November 20th Scorpios, and I believe, Tom, we got to do your chart. They both have Moon in Aries, like ton of Mars energy.
Cool. So you must be pretty cool. I haven't met Wade, but from what I know, he must be like the coolest husband ever.
That is so messed up when you say that because I have not realized that because
I've
known Rena forever, virtually.
Yeah, Brandy and I have never met in person, not yet. It's gonna happen.
It hurts my heart when you say it because I feel like I do know you in person.
I know, for real. Yeah, there is no distance here. Trust me.
Nope. Oh, Tom says we were fighting over him first time on the show. That's right. That's right. Okay, I'm trying to pull a card and I'm just not getting closure, so I have to get my full message here.
I pulled 3. How does that sound?
Yeah, I'm on 4, so that sounds great. Thought it was just me. Flying everywhere. All right, let me interpret these for a second.
I hope you get the same message I do, because that would be really mind-blowing.
No pressure. Now I'm like, I gotta get
the pressure. I'm sending it. Can you feel it?
All right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I do. That'll work great.
Okay.
So I see that there's a lot of changes going to happen. And this can be scary or a little intimidating. Don't look back though. Don't look to your past for the answers. Feel your way through the path. There's a lot of healing that's going to come forward with these changes and a lot of opportunity to step into, again, this is general card reading for kind of everybody watching, but it definitely feels like it is monetary or materialistic. Change is going to happen. So don't be afraid to take a chance on what's coming through for you.
Interesting, because look at all these pentacles I got.
I knew you were going to get the same message.
So yeah, I see like working on the details, keep charging ahead. You got to be really careful with expectations right now, though, like, you know, expecting certain results.
Or it's going to look a certain way, because it doesn't always look the way you think it's going to look.
It usually doesn't.
Right.
It usually doesn't. So, right. It's about kind of trusting in that. But look, and I also have this about it can be a real emotional time for people right now, especially the people watching this, I think, because you're getting this this message about how emotional things are, the emotional attachments, but yet everything happening is for the highest good. Because I got the Queen of Cups here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Beautiful.
And I'm also getting, and sorry, Rena, I was kind of tuning in when you were talking about, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but like buffering the emotions with work a little bit, but without focusing on the materialism. It's about just using up the energy. Does that make sense to you?
Sure. Yeah. That's awesome.
So that's for everybody.
Don't look back.
Look back.
Take your wins, celebrate them, and move forward.
Perfect. And there are going to be a lot of wins because this is a King of Pentacles. So lots of wins there. So, yep. Keep marching forward. That's right. Lots of good stuff ahead.
Definitely. Beautiful.
I'm an optimist. I mean, I just feel, you know, I don't know.
I'm a realist. And that's those Capricorn shining qualities that come forward. I really try to be optimistic. I'm going to be real with you, though, but I'm going to tell you what's good about it. I like change and I like work. So.
And what I like is when something feels like completely shitty in life and like just really challenging. I mean, that is a sign that something good is around the corner. Like, and I believe that, and I feel like I see that. And so that's just kind of one thing for those feeling those challenges right now.
Definitely.
Rhonda says, thank you. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Rhonda. Always a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thanks for showing up, guys. We love doing this. We do. And this like totally made my day. Just being here doing this.
Yeah. You guys probably missed us last week. That full moon got us.
That was a very impromptu sabbatical. So sorry about that.
That was yeah. That the full moon, that was a big one, the Libra Aries thing. So and then Mercury had gone direct, and so it was stationed, and when that planet is still, it causes a little bit of craziness. So but we're back, and glad you guys joined us tonight.
Definitely.
Well, till next time, remember to send us your stories, and or if there's anything you guys want to discuss, want to talk about, there's any astrology chart you want to see, oh my gosh, please message me. Any crime, or if you just want to see a birth chart of some celebrity, I live for that. So you guys send me a message and we'll put it on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to hear from you. We love talking. So that's why we're here. We're just to talk about all of our good stuff. And we love talking about the amazing things that we do. Brandy is so good at what she does, you guys. I don't make any business decisions without her, seriously. So
Rena, don't you let her fix your house and make these keys, because these keys, Rena, I couldn't do it without your keys. I mean that.
Are amazing. They are just, you know, so often I hear that they're just like this guiding light. They just bring you back into alignment when you work with them. I don't know what it is, guys. They're really amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. So Rena, where can they find you and your keys?
holistichealingtherapeutics.com or on Etsy, Purple Rain & Co.
Cool. And find me at Brandy Burrow Astrology.com. Or on Facebook, it's Astrology and Tarot, or just find my name or find Rena. We'll get you all connected.
Yes.
Either way, I'm offering tarot, mediumship, palmistry readings. Guys, you don't have to be local. Send me a picture of the palm just like this and I will tell you what's going on. All those readings are available on my website. So find me, find Rena. We're happy to help you.
Absolutely.
All right, till next time.
See you later. Thank you. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.